Andy Broadway here, and today I have a very special podcast, someone that I would love to share with you. And she's got a story that she would like to share, and also about who she is, the journey that she's been on, and what is currently going on with her. So let me introduce my dear friend, Kris Miller, from the San Diego, Carlsbad area, or Oceanside. I forget exactly where it is, but it's Southern California. And I met her a couple of years ago, and every time I see her, she's always got this real big smile on her face. She's always welcome and be around. She's just a wonderful, wonderful lady. And I wanted to introduce you to her today. So, Kris, go ahead and share with what's going on and share who you are.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you for a beautiful introduction, Andy. I love you too, and I really appreciate. Well, to make a long story short, you know, what I do and what's going on right now are almost, it's the same thing, but in a different world of the world of almost being the nightmare of my business and basically my whole family. So I do legacy wealth strategist. I've been in practice 35 years. I'm, never lost a dime in the stock market. And I focus on estate planning, living trust, long-term care, and making sure you have your money safe. And as a result of this, for some reason, it seems like I've been in this movie with my family, 10 years of cancer with my mommy and then my dad and my sweet sister. So it's been a journey. And the way that I can use it to serve Andy is that all of these really, really hard experiences are there to help other people. Of course, I'm being blessed too, but these are really hard conversations that I don't really want to talk about this. Honestly, I kind of feel like I'm being pushed out to talk
Right.
about, what's going on with me right now, something I wouldn't have ever expected. Um, about November 1st, I've been back I was on a 7 2, every weekend I was going out to events and speaking, and I was on about event 5. I've never felt better in my life. I've traveled by myself, I speak, I do the whole thing, and I've been very blessed with amazing health. And those that know me would really, see that what happened to me is totally unexpected. And it's funny, because I write inspirational music. The song I kept singing was Expect the Unexpected, Don't Have to Know Why.
Yeah.
So it kept going over. It was like, what song was it? I couldn't even remember which one of my songs it was. And then boom, I got back and I was in like really bad pain. And I mean, deathly pain. I've never had that kind of pain. And essentially, basically, make it really simple for people, I wasn't able to eliminate. And what happened over a few months is that I really wasn't hungry. And my whole system was basically shutting down. But I was in an upstate, like moving and meeting people. And like I was just putting it aside, 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 like we all do, right? Till we drop over. Well, what happened was I couldn't handle the pain. And when my friend says, well, I'll take you to the ER, hospital is not my first place to go to. I'm in the complimentary, integrative medicine, like
Right.
really, but it was pretty 911. So we went to the emergency ward. They did an emergency surgery and they ended up doing a colostomy on me, and which is allowing me to be alive right now
Right.
because I wasn't able to eliminate. And because as a result of this, I was in the hospital for 10 days. And it was really bizarre because I never really got to see what the report was. They kept saying, well, the mass, it looks like cancer. Oh, it looks like it's in several parts of your body too. It's over here and it's over there. And it was like, okay, but then I started going, wait a minute. You haven't even tested me for liver cancer, right? You
Right.
haven't even tested me for this stuff. And I found out I had to be my own advocate and figure this out myself because nobody was telling me. And so I literally went back to the surgeon and said, hey, can you do some tests for me to let me know what's going on? They did a PET scan, did my whole body, and I do have a mass, but I'm not level 4,
Right.
right? And it went down to level 2 or 1.
Uh-huh.
And then I have a dear friend that came up to me and, we had met some wonderful folks at an event, and there was a place called the Oasis of Hope. And it's actually a cancer clinic that's been around for 50 years.
Mhm.
And the guy that started, it's really an amazing story. It was full of heart, very compassionate person. But then the FDA came and sued him out of the country. So they're over the border.
Yeah.
And so it's not covered on Medicare. And it's going to cost $40,000. I'm like, okay, well, I didn't have an extra whip it out right now kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my good friend Dr. Mansi Shah said, well, let's do a GoFundMe. And I'm like, I don't want to do a GoFundMe. I'm not going to make money off of. I felt embarrassed. I felt idiotic. And she said, well, I'll do it anyway. So we created a what's called Spot Fund, like a GoFundMe, where people are contributing to help me to go through this process.
Right.
Well, I talked to the doctor a couple days ago from this place. It's a regular hospital. There's doctors, surgeons, nurses, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But their treatments, Andy, are over the top amazing. And so he was very, very, very positive that we were going to be able to shrink the mass and put my colon back together.
Yeah.
And so it was he actually prayed for me at the end of the conversation, which
Wow.
I didn't ask. He just did it. It was very inspiring and hopeful. Um, I really, really felt like it wouldn't be hard to cross over. That I feel, wait, hey, be in the loving arms of Jesus in heaven.
Right.
But it was like Spirit said, no, you're not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, this place is schoolroom earth. It's a rock and roll to be here, but
Yeah.
I do feel that energetically that I will make it through this, but it's going to be a long haul of, well, what's long? It's going to be a little journey here. It's not like you take one pill and it's gone,
Yeah. Right.
right?
Right.
Although I do believe in miracles, that was a miracle to go from a 4 to a 2 or a 1,
Right. Right.
right? So
Exactly.
that's kind of not kind of, but that's where I'm at right now.
Right.
Uh,
Well,
dealing
I
with
well,
that.
well, I definitely appreciate you sharing. Now, your primary business is helping people have alternative plans and be able to live and retire and still have money, but you also help people set up these healthcare plans that would take care. However, there is that we've got to use the traditional medicine that's in our country going through the insurance, and then they do that route, which that wasn't a route that you wanted to choose. Certainly not a route that I would choose either. If I was in your shoes, I wouldn't be using insurance here in the United States. I would be using an alternative like what you did down in Oasis, which is actually a smart way to go. Have and But your insurance doesn't pay for it. So you've been a bit reluctant, obviously. I mean, we've had these conversations. You've been reluctant on really letting people know what's going on. Really, that's what this interview that I'm doing with you, and I wanted to serve
Yeah.
you to say, look, let's let people get the sort of like behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
also know why are you doing that versus just doing insurance, because sometimes people could be judgy. And I don't care, but that is your choice. It would be my choice also to do that. And so that's why Dr. Monsi set up this account so that people could go to and help you. So at the end of the interview here, there'll be a little link below that they can click on that link, and they can donate, so that you have the resources to be able to do this. So it's not, and we've had a lot of calls about this. And one of the calls was, well, I'd be a little embarrassed to share. I'm embarrassed to ask. Well, right now we're all learning. It's not an embarrassment to ask and let people know what's going on. Really, that's the purpose of this video. So I really do appreciate you sharing that. Looks like you got something else to say. Go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a quick thing of, because my mommy went through cancer for 10 years, she kind of instilled in me, and I watched her go through the radiation and the chemo, and it just would go from one spot to the next spot. And
Right.
it was living hell. And she told
Mhm.
me that the pain from the chemo was worse than the cancer
Right.
itself.
Right.
And I've been in complementary alternative medicine, nutritionist, and researched all this for years to help her go through it. And what I learned was it was that there were some amazing things out there that I don't have to go into kill and burn strategies,
Mhm.
which they already had me set up, Andy. They had me set up that I walked out of the hospital and it said liver cancer. I don't have liver cancer. They put that on my medical records, and then
Wow.
they farmed me into like a cow that was going to get slaughtered to an oncologist that all he wants to do is chemo and radiation. And they haven't even done the test to find out if it was whatever they thought it was. So it was just like, okay.
Right.
And I have to admit, because I had never planned on taking care of my family. I had a long-term life insurance that let me use the death benefit if I needed care, because I can go to that place, but when I come back, I'm alone. I need help, right? And
Right.
I had all of that, but my family needed help. And so it pushed me into like that was priority. I don't
Mhm.
regret it, but that's why I'm in this situation. I had everything set up,
Yeah.
but I did not plan for my family. And if that's one thing that'll rise to the top here, you got to think about that. Like, what happens if your wife, what happens with your kids, and have all of these, expect the unexpected things set up. um, and honestly, I just left the last scenario from one of my family members, barely a year ago. So I hadn't even finished unpacking that
Right.
situation.
Right.
So it's beyond the beyond now at this point.
And it's really unfortunate, like you said, you walked out and they said you had liver cancer and didn't have liver cancer. And
Right,
and 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 I had a very good friend of mine, and I've talked with you about his name. I won't say his name,
right.
because he's pretty well known. He got misdiagnosed on his scan. They started treating him for that particular thing that they said he was diagnosed for.
Yeah,
That actually made it worse. And then 6 months later, they said, "Oh no, we misdiagnosed you. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't throat cancer. It was
right,
something else." And
right,
he's going, "Well, wait a minute. You just treated me. I went through all this treatment, and the treatment just tore him down. He was in great shape,
right.
very riveting, very sharp. He still stayed very sharp, but that treatment, that misdiagnosis, and the treatment for the misdiagnosis really threw it off. So really, there's a lot of lessons here. Number one is that the first diagnosis isn't the one that is necessarily true. That getting a second and a third and maybe even a fourth opinion is important. And like what you did, you went across the border and had them check everything to make sure that that was correct. Oasis. And I'm not making any kind of medical advice. Neither are you giving medical advice out. But the best tip that we all could use is make sure that if something like this is serious, that it gets, you get backup, like, multiple
I
opinions on it.
I even
Yeah,
had a surgeon from Mayo Clinic
right,
who when I told her what happened, she said, "That's not right. They can't prescribe chemo and radiation until they really diagnose what you had. Did you have this test? Did you have that test?" So she
right.
concurred with me, and I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving medical advice.
Yeah,
But as a result of this, my prayer is that this pain and suffering will help other people, and they'll be able to find out about other things. It doesn't not everything is might be as pricey. There's a lot of different things that can help people, but you
sure.
got to have everything. You've got to,
Yeah,
travel both paths, right? And have it all set up.
right, exactly. You know what's really great about you is, you're very caring, and you care about people around you. Every time I see you, like I opened the interview saying, every time I see you, you got a smile on your face.
Yeah.
We've been in a lot of events together, and I could just look over, and maybe you're across the way and you're smiling, and you send a smile back, and you got a lot of love in your heart.
Thank you.
So,
Yep.
how we all could help you is both ways. One is I suggest that you click on the link below this video and go ahead and donate to her fund. Number one, whatever the amount is, it's going to be helpful to her. The larger the amount, the larger the help. And then I would suggest that you send this interview to someone that you may not even know, and so that they could get to know who Kris is, right? And so when you look at the link, send the link to 5 other friends. Then the next thing you could do is keep Kris in your prayers every single day. Kris is in my prayers every single day. The prayers are: give her peace, show her how much you love her, give her wisdom in every move that she makes, and then surround her with your loving and compassionate love. So, however you pray, send it to Kris's direction every single day, and that's the best thing you can do. Anything you want to wrap up with, Kris? Because I know you're in a lot of pain right now.
I just want to amen your prayer and send it back to, because I'm not the only one that, there's a lot of people that are going through some intense things, and they may not have a beautiful person that will share like you are and help me along the way here. And so amen to everything you said. Thank you, everybody, for your help and your prayers and your support. And I will be doing a journal as I go, so I'll explain a lot of the different modalities that I'll be using and
Great,
inspire
great.
you to learn more, to be your own advocate, so that health is wealth, right? So you can enjoy your life.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So when you get all wrapped up on the other side of things, because I know you're going to make it to the other side, when you get all wrapped up on the other, we'll do another interview just to keep people updated. I think it's
Okay.
important that it's an update and people could follow along the journey with you. I love the idea about the journal. Great, keep that journal. Share whatever you would like, but we'll do another interview after your treatment just to give people an update on everything. So thanks very much for being here today. God bless you. And I love you. You're a wonderful soul.
Thank you, Andy. I love you too. Thank you.